Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and hello if you're new here. My name's Molly, and today I wanted to talk to you about something I'd actually seen on the internet regarding Gabbie, Hanna and Farrah situation. The reason I wanted to talk about it is because it is in relation to mental health, and it kind of just annoyed me a little bit. I don't know if any of you have seen recently that Gabbie, Hanna and Farrah from the 16 and Pregnant series have become friends, or maybe they were always friends and they just didn't really talk about it. They are two problematic people, if we were being honest. They are quite problematic. They are quite problematic. Now, they have decided to do a podcast about mental health. It's what it seems that the podcast is going to be about. Now, I do not have any issue with anybody talking about mental health. I've said before, even when discussing Gabbie, Hanna, that I do think that she does suffer from some kind of mental health disorder and she does struggle with her mental health. I am not here to put anybody down. If you want to talk about their experiences, raise awareness and help people, because that is exactly what I do. However, the video that came out of them talking together, kind of promoting the podcast, didn't give off the best vibes.
Hello? I thought it reeked.
So the video was really weird. It was just Gabbie and Farrah talking in what looked like a side office of a building, and they were chatting about how they were going to be doing this talk show and how people had really, Gabbie was really honing in on the fact that people didn't understand Farrah as she did.
I'm so excited for myself personally and for everybody else to get to know the real Farrah, because I feel like I've seen it through the TV, and I just feel like she's one of the most misunderstood people of all time,
and that people misjudged her, and that people make assumptions on her based off how she was interpreted on the show. For as much as I could tell, that's what she was trying to make the point of saying. And then Farrah was talking about Gabbie, and you kind of joking, talking as friends do, but on the camera, announcing the podcast. They didn't specifically say exactly what the podcast will be about.
But thrilled to bring to you mental health, self-care talk. I don't know if it's going to be like true crime in it, if it's going to be entertainment in it, if it's going to just be health in it, but whatever it is, we cannot wait to share this.
They did talk about mental health. Now for me, there was a couple of problematic things straight away that got said during the announcement, as well as some problematic behaviour on the camera for the announcement. There was a point when Gabbie had said, oh, apparently I have debilitating OCD.
I have a lot of mental problems that I'm actually really proud of, and No, but honestly, mental health issues, if you know how to harness them, are a superpower. Especially, apparently I have severe debilitating OCD.
Now, it could just be some people are angry. Obviously, I suffer from severe OCD. It could have just been that's her way of talking about her mental health, and not necessarily her making a joke about OCD. So we could kind of say, okay, she's not necessarily bad by that remark, but then we move on to obviously more problematic things that she says. Now, during the interview, there is what appears to be a guy outside in the corridor while they are doing their filming. Now, it must be an office that's got glass doors. This guy's just standing in the corridor. Gabbie's done a whole spiel about how we've all got Farrah wrong and she's unfairly judged. And then she firstly just looks and makes this comment
I'm about ready to yell at someone who's walking over here with their stupid phone. Okay. Okay. Anyways, gonna calm that down.
About this guy who's standing in the corridor and that she's trying to film and basically saying that he's rude. But then she gets up, opens the door.
Sorry, this guy keeps walking over here 1 second.
And that's on ADHD right there. I love that.
Hi, I'm just recording so I'm gonna shut this and you have fun walking back and forth. Okay. Oh, I just can't with...
Now, in my opinion, I still don't think that she has any right to ask the guy to move who's just standing in a corridor. She doesn't have the right, but she could possibly have said, oh, I'm really sorry, I'm trying to film a video in here and you're standing in the way of the light. Would it be okay if you could just maybe move over? It's how you say something. If he'd have said no, she still doesn't have any right to tell him to move if he's in a public corridor and she's in a separate room. He's not standing in the room in front of the camera, and then her getting mad about it. He's in the corridor, not even in the room, on the phone, nothing to do with her, and she's gone outside and then not even said to him, oh, I'm really sorry, would you mind moving? She full on shouts at the man that he's in her light and that she's trying to film and that he needs to move. And then she comes in and laughs. So that already problematic, rude, not very nice. But then what annoyed me more is that they then go on to make this joke where Gabbie goes, if that's not ADHD right there.
And that's on ADHD right there.
No, that's rude. Whether you've got ADHD or not, that's rude. And already before you've even started the podcast, you're making negative stereotypes about somebody that has ADHD.
You know, my disabilities, you know. Some people would say that is me being so, like, Farrah's so difficult. And, you know, like, I was fired for being difficult.
There's already a negative stereotype that people with ADHD are all naughty or all rude, which is not true. And it fuels the idea that ADHD is just an excuse for bad behaviour. It also fuels the idea that ADHD is only seen in children that are naughty, and that's why a lot of people, especially women with ADHD, are not necessarily diagnosed because they don't fit the expected bracket of what ADHD should look like. And also, it's just an excuse. She was just being rude. I always say, and I've said before in my videos, mental health can be a reason for how somebody acts, but it can never be an excuse. You can understand that someone may have acted in a certain way because they were unwell at the time, but when that person is well enough, or during or after that situation, the person needs to understand that they shouldn't have acted in that way. I understand there are limitations to this, and it depends on how much mental capacity that person has or how much understanding they have of their behaviour. But in this instance, she knew what she was doing. She's gone out and she's been very rude. Gabbie hasn't interrupted. Gabbie hasn't said, maybe you went too far.
Then you have fun walking back and forth. Okay.
Oh.
Gabbie's then used ADHD as a reason or an excuse why she's just acted that way, and then they both laughed about being really rude to this man. And I thought, you haven't even started the podcast yet. Is this podcast just going to be a podcast full of negative stereotypes, of using excuses or making excuses for bad behaviour and blaming mental health? Because, and I almost feel like, was this done on purpose as a publicity stunt? And people might think, why would anybody do that? But if you look, I'm talking about it, I'm sure other people will be talking about it. A lot of people don't care where their fame comes from. If they're getting watches, they're getting views, people are talking about them, then they don't mind. So it could have just been done purposefully for them to get more traction on their podcast. So yeah, I was kind of a little bit disappointed in them. If I could say disappointed, I don't really expect that much from them. They're not two people that I really follow anyway. I can understand wanting publicity, but surely if you are two people who do suffer from mental health issues, you have had a bad reputation, you have had maybe some uncalled for or uneducated opinions made about yourself, wouldn't this be the time to be trying to show people the real you, unless this is the real them and they don't realise, or they do understand that they're not the nicest people, but they kind of think that they are.
It's because we're awesome.
Yeah.
It's kind of, the whole thing just seems a bit weird. I'm just concerned that they are going to be doing a podcast about mental health. They do still have a lot of young followers. They still do have followers, people that will listen to them. It may be less than it used to be, but they definitely still have people there that will listen to their take an opinion on things. And the last thing we need is for people to be putting out uneducated, unhelpful, untrue information about mental health when we're already trying so hard to educate people, to stop the stereotypes. I can't see this going well, but I would like to be happily surprised. I hope that I'm wrong, and I am going to listen to the episode when they come out, and maybe we'll do a series on it. I am worried, but I'm hopeful, and maybe this video was just to get traction, and when they do the podcast, it's actually going to be educational and helpful and talk about their own experiences if they feel comfortable doing that. So we will wait and see. Please do let me know if you'd like to see the Gabbie, Hanna and Farrah podcast series where I just talk about and analyse the things that they've said. If you'd like to see any other videos, then please do let me know down below. I really do hope that you've enjoyed this video, and wherever that you are, I hope you have a lovely morning, day or night, and I will see you again next time. Bye!